Hey everyone, it's Claire at the Allentown Art Museum. Happy Textile Tuesday. Today we're in our American galleries and we're looking at some of the works that were just installed last month. And in particular, in this first gallery, the work really focuses on global exchange and looking at how art and ideas and people have moved around the world over the centuries. So in this little area, we have a case study featuring some textiles showing how particular imagery was borrowed and reused in one particular case. So the story starts out with a print. We have a small reproduction of it right here. And after an original work by the British artist John Russell, and was reproduced as a print in the late 1700s. And so that means that this print could be made in multiple copies, could circulate more widely. Prints were a really important way of sharing both art and ideas and letting them to circulate to a wider audience and even internationally, as we'll see here. So that brings us over to the first work in our collection right here. And if you notice this scene right over here, the girls feeding the chickens, that's pretty directly imitating this print. This embroidery was designed by an artist named Samuel Folwell, who was working in the Philadelphia area. And so he probably had a copy of the print of the original scene. His wife ran a really successful school for girls, young women, and was especially renowned for the girls' needlework. And so Samuel Folwell, the artist, would design the needlework that then the students of his wife would embroider. And so this particular embroidery was completed by Hutchinson in 1806. And you can see the way that she's used the silk thread to really catch the light and create different colors and effects and shadow, and the different stitch work that creates textures in the scene. So meanwhile, back in England, that same print was also copied to create this printed textile. So we have different vignettes showing different seasons, and one of them, of course, is pretty familiar by now. You'll notice that the designer of this textile made some changes from the print. In this case, the print is flipped. The orientation is changed from left to right. That's because when an artist is drawing on a printing plate, the image that's printed is naturally the reverse of that. And like the print on paper, this was also something that was produced in a large quantity and circulated, including in the United States. And so we have one final example from the collection, this embroidery right here. And so you'll notice this scene once more. In this case, the scene is taken from the printed fabric. So you can see, again, we have the adult woman. It's actually, the design is at the same scale as the fabric, which suggests that someone might have traced the design off of the fabric to create this design for embroidery. And either the designer or the embroiderer has made a few other changes. They've added a fanciful hat to the woman's attire and some interesting color choices in the cage. So I hope you'll stop by sometime and check them out.